Young people, mothers, and grandmothers filled Pope Francis' speeches during his recent apostolic trip to Chile and Peru.
At the Plaza de Armas in Lima, Francis said to the young Peruvians that their faces and aspirations are important for the Church. We must give them, he added, the importance they deserve. Evoking the preparation of this year's synod, he mentioned the example of St. Martin de Porres. Nothing prevented that young man from achieving his dreams. Just as he was a mulatto, he had to face many hardships.
However, he continued, he knew how to trust in the Lord who loved him. Do you know why? Because the Lord had trusted him first, just as he trusts each of you. Ask for help and advice from people who you know can give good advice. Let them accompany you as you journey along the path of life.
During the Marian celebration of the Virgen de la Puerta in Trujillo, the Pope evoked the mothers and the grandmothers, a true driving force for the life and the families of Peru. What would Peru be like without its mothers and grandmothers? What, the Pope asked, would our lives be like without them?
Then the Pope invited the faithful to fight to combat the numerous cases where women are killed, the many situations of violence, said Francis, that are kept quiet behind so many walls, by calling for legislation and a culture that repudiates every form of violence.
Finally, Francis spoke to the young of the Little Prince Children's Home in Puerto Maldonado. You children, he said in his greeting, are the greatest treasure that we have to care for. Forgive us those times when we adults have not cared for you. 7 catecheses, one for each month from now until August, combined with as many musical itineraries and videos. This is the Dicastery's proposal that was presented today at a press conference in the press office of the Holy See, with a view to preparing for the 9th World Meeting of Families that will be celebrated in Dublin from the 21st to the 26th of August.
The catechesis, which will be available online on our website in 5 languages, are built around the gospel narrative of the loss of the 12-year-old Jesus and his finding in the temple, Luke 2:41-52, intertwining the text of Amoris Laetitia, which inspires the Dublin meeting, and the unique story of the Holy Family of Nazareth.
The prefect, Kevin Farrell, speaking at the conference, summarized the themes of these catecheses. We start from a concrete look at today's families, indicating the relevance of the Word of God, which can illuminate the family's daily life at home to reach the great dream that God has for every family, even where fragility and weaknesses seem to break it.
All this makes the family generate a new culture in the world, that of life, of hope, and of joy. Each catechesis, added Prefect Farrell, opens with a prayer and concludes with some questions that may be shared in the family or in the ecclesial community.
The catecheses are accompanied by a musical itinerary prepared by Marco Tibaldi, the theologian of the project, The Great Mystery, on the pieces performed by Maestro Andrea Bocelli during the concert at the Basilica of the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona.
The musical itineraries are also available in 5 languages on the Dicastery's website. Monthly multimedia art clips are produced as resources to be used for projections in groups and parishes.
Meanwhile, the preparations are also underway in Ireland. We asked Brenda Drum, Communications Manager of the World Meeting of the Archdiocese of Dublin, for a report on the situation.
We in the offices are getting used to saying the event is happening this year. We have been planning for the last 3 years and we have lots of different things happening. We have a really wonderful website, worldmeeting2018.ie, that's available in 5 languages if you want to connect in with us to find out what is happening. We'd also love you to listen to our weekly podcast, which is called Let's Talk Family. And on that podcast, we share interviews with some of the people involved in making the plans and the preparations for the World Meeting of Families. But we're also talking to to other people as well who are involved in family ministry to get a sense of what family means to people. The World Meeting of Families is a very good news story for the church. It's a very important moment in the life of the church, and we'd love people to be with us in Dublin from the 21st to the 26th of August to help celebrate family, to pray for the family, and to encourage people to speak out about what family means to them. And so we are extending to you 100,000 welcomes, a céad míle fáilte. Please come and join us in Dublin for the World Meeting of Families from the 21st to the 26th of August. And in the meantime, link in with us on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and follow us on our website, worldmeeting2018.ie. We look forward to welcoming you to Dublin.
The Festival of Families will be a highlight of the meeting. The event is being organized by a team of experts, including the husband and wife Anna and Alberto Friso and Marco Brusotti.
La festa delle famiglie si terrà allo stadio di Dublino e vedrà la partecipazione di famiglie da tutte le parti del mondo, testimonianze, musica, arte e soprattutto l'incontro del Papa.
Charisms must be considered from the point of view of evangelization, not from the point of view of a division of power within the church.
Prefect Kevin Farrell said this in his speech at the Palazzo della Cancelleria in Rome on the occasion of the Day of Study promoted by the Evangelii Gaudium Center of the Sophia University Institute under the patronage of the Italian Canonical Association on the theme Charism and Institution in Movements and Ecclesial Communities.
In the charisms, the prefect continued, we often find, and in abundance, living forces and enthusiasm, the capacity to announce available time and energy, good biblical and catechetical formation, ability to welcome non-believers and non-practitioners fraternally, and last but not least, the language adapted to our contemporaries.
The work was introduced by the Focolare president, Maria Voce.
Allora, ci troviamo oggi in occasione di una iniziativa presa da alcuni movimenti e comunità ecclesiali per approfondire alcune questioni ancora aperte nella nostra vita quotidiana che richiedono un approfondimento, appunto questioni che sono sfide che ci si presentano nel quotidiano e che di cui vorremmo trovare insieme le soluzioni, proprio perché sentiamo che la prima soluzione nasce proprio dalla comunione fra tutti e dal imparare gli uni dagli altri come fare per realizzare pienamente il carisma di ciascuno. Questo è un po' il senso della giornata di oggi, che speriamo sia un'occasione per andare avanti in questa comunione.
Monsignor Piero Coda, Dean of the Sophia University Institute, spoke about the new ecclesial movements.
La stagione che vivono oggi i nuovi movimenti ecclesiali, le nuove comunità ecclesiali, è una stagione per molti versi nuova. Innanzitutto in riferimento a loro stessi, perché la maggioranza hanno attraversato la fase della fondazione, la fase dell'accompagnamento autorevole da parte di Papa Giovanni Paolo II e ora vivono, direi, una fase in cui sono chiamati a dare il loro apporto specifico a quella che Papa Francesco chiama una nuova tappa dell'evangelizzazione. Queste realtà sono nate proprio per portare il Vangelo in ascolto del soffio dello Spirito al nostro tempo e questa grande convocazione sinodale, direi, del popolo di Dio che fa Papa Francesco li deve vedere in prima fila ad apportare il loro contributo con tutti in questo salto di qualità nella vita ecclesiale e nella missione ecclesiale.
The spotlights are also put on young people by the Dicastery in the 2018 agenda. The preparations for the World Youth Day are becoming lively exactly 1 year before the great event that will be held in Panama in January 2019.
Panama's local organizing committee met at the Dicastery in the presence of Monsignor Mauricio Rueda, responsible for the Holy Father's trips, the Dicastery's secretary, Father Alexandre Aui Melo, and Panama's Archbishop, Monsignor Jose Domingo Ula Mendieta, to plan the main events of this World Youth Day.
The order of the day also included the Solidarity Fund, the accommodation of the participants, the preparatory catechesis, the composition of the pilgrim's bag, and communications.
Then the Archbishop of Panama, Monsignor Jose Domingo Ula Magneto, met 17 European youth pastoral coordinators in Stuttgart, Germany, at the Catholic Academy of the Diocese of Rottenburg-Stuttgart.
Hemos reflexionado algo muy importante, cómo el Señor vuelve a hacer su opción por los pequeños. Dios quiere hacer grandes cosas a través de los pequeños del mundo, como lo realizó en María, y es también la reafirmación del por qué ha elegido a Panamá a través del Papa Francisco, para no olvidarnos que las grandes transformaciones de este mundo vienen precisamente de las cosas sencillas y pequeñas.
In the next few weeks, registration will begin. Hundreds of thousands of young people are expected. The pastoral and logistical aspects of the days are being refined in a view of the second international preparatory meeting to be held from the 7th to the 9th of June 2018 in Panama.
A reflection on the year and a half that has passed since the establishment of the Dicastery, the presentation of the major events being prepared, including the World Meeting of Families and the World Youth Day in Panama. Also, support for life and collaboration with the Pontifical Academy for Life, the role of women in the Dicastery, and the commitment to participate in the communications reform desired by Pope Francis.
This and more can be found in the interview with the prefect Kevin Farrell published in the Osservatore Romano. The great challenge we are facing, he said, is to enter into a new mentality of work, collaboration, and service. This new mentality involves first thinking in terms of a single dicastery, a single new body which is composed of various organs but lives, moves, and acts as a whole.
Donne e Lavoro, Women and Work, is the title of the volume edited by the Dicastery and just published by the Libreria Editrice Vaticana.
The book is prefaced by Cardinal Farrell and contains interventions by women and men, experts and witnesses from the different continents who, starting from the history and geography of the feminine presence in their world of work, illustrate the need for the clarity of their identity in assuming well-defined roles and tell about the wealth of humanity in a world where women make an indispensable contribution.
Last November, the Dicastery created the San Callisto platform, composed of the experts of the Meeting Point, a course of affective and sexual education inspired by Amoris Laetitia that was presented during the World Youth Day in Krakow. A few days ago, its members met for the first time in Rome.
Members from France, Spain, Italy, and Argentina attended. The prefect's delegate, Carlos Simon Vasquez, the undersecretary for the Life section, Gabriela Gambino, and the officials, Patrick Dubois and Guillermo Gutierrez, represented our dicastery.
The result of this operational meeting is a draft of the platform's mission, including guidelines and web maps for online communication.
The Media Revolution and the New Educational Challenges, a commentary on the 2017 report of the Italian Center for Family Studies, is the reflection of the analyst of anthropological models for the mass media system, Marco Brussati. The 2017 in-depth empirical survey interviewed 4,000 respondents on how information and communication technologies are changing private and public relations.
In just a few years, explains Brussati, 4 digital generations have come to coexist, cohabitate, while being independent of each other in the media. However, the media is not, as one hears, the world of the very young. Rather, it is an alien world in which they do not choose but are chosen by algorithms that are studied by adults on the other side of the world, by people who spy on them in the remotest navigation paths in order to propose what they think might please them.
In the digital universe, chats programmed to delete videos and photos after the recipient has seen them without leaving a trace, thus creating a free zone where no adult can enter, verify, help, correct, or educate. since communicative emptiness and even further upstream relational emptiness, Brussati concludes, cannot exist. Those who enter in communication with the very young through the media become, whether we want it or not, their educators.